Please note, this podcast contains references to physical and sexual assault and graphic depictions of violence. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed throughout this podcast are solely those of the individuals expressing them and do not necessarily align with the opinions or beliefs of the host or producers.
Everyone knows of Ryan. And I don't know why. I mean, he's not a good person. I have a protective order on him, but I don't believe I'm ever safe. I mean, he has a really bad temper. I fully believe he's responsible. I think he killed Faith, 100%. So I lost my mom when I was 15. She was murdered. And they said it was, murder-suicide. Both of them were dead. I mean, my mom was shot. She was in her bathroom when she was killed. And there was one night he was trying to choke me. He was trying to choke me in the foyer. And he stopped, and then he was like, "Get the fuck away from me, get the fuck away from me." And so I went in the bathroom. Well, I had a broken piece of glass in my hand. And he came in there, and he was like, "You just want to die in the bathroom like your mom, don't you?" Well, he came at me again and put his hands around my throat, and I stabbed him in the ribs with that broken piece of glass.
You stabbed him?
No, yeah.
It wasn't, maybe a week after I had spoken with him. My phone rang one night, and I answered. It's an unknown number, and there was this man on the phone, and he goes, "I want to inform you that you need to keep your mouth shut, quit asking questions, and back off now, or you're not going to like the consequences."
I haven't moved in 20 minutes. Amanda's aunt is on the phone, telling me about the threat that was made against her in the wake of Faith's death and her family's push for answers. It's the first time anyone close to this case has told me they were warned to stop asking questions. And the craziest part about it is, the threat appears to be coming from a very unexpected direction.
Had you spoken to anyone else about the case?
No. I talked with Amanda and Caitlin, my daughter, both my sons, and they don't talk to anybody because they're not down around here to talk to anybody. So we don't rattle anything to anybody or ask any questions around anyone because we know that there are different ones who try to keep it down low. And we don't want to, jar out somebody else's when they've got something going on. And so we just kind of keep it among ourselves.
I asked Sue if she received any other threatening calls regarding Faith's case.
Just the one. And I was like, I'm the kind of person, Amanda will tell you, I'm the kind of person that's like, okay, go ahead, tell me, try to bully me, and I'm going to come back at you, and I'm going to be bulled up. Okay, tell me to back up, tell me to sit down, tell me to shut up, and boy, I'm going to be in your face. And when this is important. This is important. I mean, somebody murdered one of my family members, and we're not going there. I'll ask whatever questions I need to ask, and I tried not to make a big boo-boo out of it all.
I go on to ask if she knows of any other people who received calls around the same time she did, and she tells me there was one other guy she knows of. She's not close to him, she doesn't want to name him by name, and they don't talk that often, but they've compared notes in the past.
Yeah, he said that they, I don't know whether he is a police officer. Just one guy told him, said, "You need to back off of that. Be quiet." He said, "Don't ask questions. This is not your investigation."
But he was approached by someone who said that? Not a call?
No, not a call. He was approached. And I don't know who it was. I have no clue. He was just back
And-
off. He didn't tell me who it was.
Yeah. The scary part about all of it is that it's, it doesn't sound like anyone's saying, they're not saying, worry about whoever may be involved in this. They're saying, worry about the people that are supposed to protect you.
That's basically it in a nutshell right there. Don't mess with it because you're going to cause a ruckus. So
I ask if there's any chance she might still be able to get in touch with the guy, and if she could possibly find out more about who it was that approached him.
In terms of
I could find out. Yeah, it would take me a few days because sometimes I can't get a hold of him. But I can talk with him and ask him if he can give me more details.
Yeah, if you can, that'd be great. Just to get an idea of like.
Yeah, I can do that too. I could ask if he would tell me.
It seems we're both on the same page. If someone's starting to bite back, well, it probably means we're poking the right bear.
Focus Features and Blumhouse present Obsession.
When I have a crush on a guy, no one knows.
Be careful
I wish Nikki loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
who you wish for. Obsession is 96% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
I love you so much.
It's blood-soaked nightmare fuel.
What kind of spells you put on her?
You have been warned. Obsession. Rated R. Under 17. Animated without parent. Only in theaters May 15th. With special engagements in Dolby.
The second I hang up from Amanda and Aunt Sue, my phone buzzes. It's a voicemail message from Rosemarie, and I'm surprised about what it is she's got to share.
You have one unheard message. First unheard message sent yesterday at 7:15 p.m.
Hey, Troy. So, I've been doing a little bit of digging and I came across this case from 2020, so not too long ago. It's McGirt versus Oklahoma. It's a whole new, perspective on the way investigations go, where a Native American man got his life sentence overturned because he was investigated by the state of Oklahoma and not the tribal police or federal court. And the state has no jurisdiction over tribal land. Kate said when she arrived, the light horse police were there. Why would they be there? Or is it something that they just do? I really think it's something we need to look into, because who has the authority to investigate? So it got me thinking. I'm wondering, seeing that Faith was found dead on tribal land, do we know if Ryan or Ronica are Native American? If they are, it should be possibly a federal investigation, or the OSBI or OHP. There's so many different, agencies involved. Who made the decision not to investigate Ryan and Ronica? And maybe this shouldn't even have been their case at all. Maybe it should be federal. I think this could really change the scope of this investigation.
A few days after speaking with Amanda and her aunt, Amanda calls me with an update.
I'm thinking, Troy, So my Aunt Sue is not her first name. Not many people know her first name. Her first name is not common, but if somebody was just looking up her name to get her phone number, when they called, they would have called her by her first name. They did not. In that call, she said, when she answered the call, they said, "Is this Sue?" Sue is what everybody calls her. But in an official capacity, like if you didn't know her or didn't know where to look, you would call her by her first name. And her phone number is not common knowledge. It's a pay-as-you-go type phone. People don't just know where she lives, that kind of thing. She's very much, she's 75 years old.
Right.
She's very much under the radar. So we were thinking, okay, so where else would they have gotten her name and her phone number?
Mm-hmm.
So if it was just law enforcement calling to just kind of give her an anonymous caution, could it have been in this manner? But she said they used her middle name. So it wasn't somebody who just looked her up through official means, because they would have used her given first name. So it was somebody who knew who all the players are, who's asking the questions. And then, small community. Everybody knows everybody. And everybody knows everybody's business.
Yeah.
And then how did they get her phone number? People don't just give out her phone number. She only knows family. So where did they get the phone number?
100%. No one involved is going to be able to find her phone number, or even if put it right out there and say that it was a hit and run. This random driver, he's not going to have her phone number. He's not going to be calling her saying stop asking questions, right? So you rule out that entire criminal element of it, and you say, well, it comes down to that same thing, which is that it has to be someone in law enforcement or linked to the case in that way. And then they're not operating in any kind of official capacity. So
exactly,
it can only, that leads you on that one spot of like, this can only be for one reason. And it's not to say, hey, we're trying to investigate this, just back off and let us do it. It's to say, stop sticking your nose in places that it shouldn't be.
I asked Amanda how Aunt Sue went in getting in touch with a guy she believed had also been threatened. And it seems things had taken an interesting turn.
The vibe that my aunt got, as well as I did from her telling me about it, was whatever happened, whatever got him spooked, had to be from a source outside of the criminal element. It would have to come from someone who he knows has the ability to carry out whatever threats they made to him and to cover it up.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, so I'm just going to back off of him because I don't know. He won't even answer my calls now for me to try to get any kind of context or find out what's going on. But she said he did such a flip on her in her last actual conversation with him. The last time he actually answered the phone, he did such a flip. And the way what he was saying was just like it told her something had happened. It's weird. She's like, that is not the way he acts. But she said he just very much was like, I don't know, stop asking me. And I don't want nothing else to do with it. And then he has not answered her call since then.
When was that last time she spoke to him?
She said it was about a month ago. She said she's called him 3 times since then, and he has not answered. He has not returned her calls, and he always would before.
Wow. Okay.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Something's up.
Something big. I think something big.
Something ain't right. And, I don't want anybody else getting hurt. People are going to continue to get hurt as long as they're able to silence people. They're only able to create fear if there ain't no light shed on it.
You tell yourself no one wants your college-era band tees, but on Depop, people are searching for exactly what you've got. You once paid a small fortune for them at merch stands. Now, a teenager who calls them vintage will offer that same small fortune back. Sell them easily on Depop. Just snap a few photos and we'll take care of the rest. Who knew your questionable music taste would be a money-making machine? Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
After my call with Amanda, I'm just about to shut my laptop for the night when a new message pops up. It's from a girl named Stevie. She tells me she knows Ryan, that they've recently separated, but that they'd been in a relationship for 4 years, right on the back of Faith's death. She wants to know if I've got some time to talk, and of course, the answer is yes. I reach over and switch back on the coffee pot. It looks like tonight I'm going to need it. I pick up the phone, dial her number, and within seconds, we're diving right in.
I remember when I first met Ryan, something just told me, stay away from this man. He's not good news. He had went to rehab or whatever. I wrote him on Facebook and congratulated him. Hey, good job going and getting sober and, all of that. Well, he wrote me back and, well, I guess he wasn't in California anymore. He wasn't in rehab. He had come home. And somehow we just ended up, he pretty much moved himself in. I was working and taking care of my kids and he just pretty much took over. I didn't know Faith. I didn't know the situation. I never heard the situation, I remember I was working at the pawn shop and I had seen the first podcast on Faith. And then that's when I seen Ryan's name. And I was like, hold on. I believe I was like I don't know, I was like 3 months pregnant already. You know, as soon as I heard the podcast, of course, I wanted to just up and leave. A month went by or so, and I ended up bringing it up to him. And he just kind of like wigged out, was hella mad because I listened to the podcast and yada, yada, yada. But he used to like squeeze me, okay? And Faith was little bitty, right? I'm 5'10". You know, I'm not little bitty, I'm skinny. But he used to like wrap his arms around me, around my ribs, and squeeze me. And he would make comments about like how he could take me out doing that. I mean, it was just completely random. So, I mean, that always like stuck in my head, like, well, is that how he did it? He never knocked me out. He never punched me. I do have to say that, you know, he never punched me. He did try to choke me out a few times, and he had me on the floor when I was pregnant. I mean, he spit in my face when I was pregnant. And now I've never been to jail. I'm not a violent person. Ryan's the only person I've ever punched in the face, and it was while I was pregnant. He spit in my face 3 times, and that 3rd time I just boom, boom, punched him. And then somehow I got on the floor.
So if you guys got into a situation where you were having an argument, would there be any situation where he would walk away?
No, never. And I would, you know, of course, like, I would try to go to the other room or, you know, to try to, okay, Ryan, that's how I think that's what I finally learned is just like, okay, Ryan, whatever you say, Ryan, okay, Ryan. I met Ronica when I was pregnant and whatever. Mine and Ryan's kid is almost 3. The day after the baby was born, Ryan ended up going to jail. So I was in the hospital by myself. And I had a premature baby, you know, he was in the NICU. Well, the day they released me, Ronica came and got me because I had no one else to come and get me. I would call Ronica and I would cry and I would vent to Ronica because Ryan, like, would leave me, you know, I was pregnant and be gone forever in my car and wouldn't come home. And she would just always tell me, like, well, one day, whenever you're sick of it, you know, you'll be sick of it or whatever. Like, you don't have to put up with that. That's all she would say. Ryan would always say, like, she doesn't come around because of Faith, because of what happened to Faith. But he wouldn't say, you know.
He said she doesn't come around because of what happened to Faith?
Yeah, like she's got guilt because of that.
Did he ever tell you anything about that night, what he says happened or what they were doing that night or anything like that?
He told me that they went to a bar outside of Awoka. It's called the Stardust, I think. And he tells me about what happened that day, you know, with Faith. Faith was kind of in one of her moods, as he would say. I don't know. He would say that, like, Faith would try to argue with him or start an argument so she could leave. And that's not the case because, you know, me going through everything I went through with this man, like, he would stay. I was trying to start an argument so I could leave. So I don't think that was the case with Faith. I think that's just how he perceived it. But I guess they were at the bar and they went back to the house and, like, Faith had just seen her mom and was upset about her brother. And he acts like he wasn't doing anything wrong. But, you know, I know Ryan, how he acts around other people. And I'm sure he was doing something disrespectful. And that she poured beer on him. And it pissed Ronica off. So that's when, you know, Ronica and Faith kind of got into it. But he acted like it wasn't a big deal. Like, you know, but why would Ronica take a shower afterwards if it wasn't a big deal? And then I asked him a lot, like, okay, so if Faith took off, why were you not right behind her? Y'all were in Sasakwa. It's scary and dark, and white girls don't go to Sasakwa. If you're from around here, you know you do not go to Sasakwa at night. And he would say, well, because I was caught in between my mom and in between Faith. And I said, okay, so how long did it take you before you went after her? Well, he tells me like 15 to 30 minutes.
15 to 30 minutes, okay.
Yeah. And to me, that's just not right. You should have been right behind her.
Does it sound like something he would do? If she walked off after she'd had a fight with Ronica, would he just sit there and wait or would he go after her?
No. He would not have been right behind her. He was never right behind me.
Right. But I mean, like, if she'd walked away, would he have just let her walk?
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
All right.
100%. He's got that I don't give a fuck attitude about everything.
Mm. But if they were in an argument, you think he would have gone after her if he and she were arguing?
Mm.
Or he would have let her walk away?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because even like when we would be arguing and I would walk, like just take off and walk away, he wouldn't be behind me.
Okay, he'd let you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
He never followed me. He never, never.
And then so he said that he waited for about half an hour, and then what happened then?
And then he got a flashlight and went looking for her.
And then did he sort of talk you through the detail, or he didn't really get much?
He doesn't. No, he doesn't go real deep into detail. He's told me about him finding her, and then him hollering, and then him saying, that's where the Doberman pincher came in. That was what they nicknamed Faith. I think that's her. That was her, Ryan and Veronica's nickname for Faith.
Was Doberman?
Like a Doberman pincher, because she's little, but she was feisty.
Wow. Okay. So then if he said to the cowboy, then go
tell mom
that Doberman's been hurt.
Yep. And then see in the podcast, there's a Bobby, right? Okay, well, Ryan's dad's name is Bobby.
Yeah, it is?
Yeah, it is. And Ryan's dad also has a truck, just like the one that's seen on the footage. And he also has a trailer, just like the one that's seen on the footage.
Do you know where Bobby lives? Like an area?
I sure do.
You do?
I sure do. I do.
Is it local to where Smurf's place is, to Weeworker?
Yeah.
Did he ever talk to you about who was there at the tailgate that night? Like the
Nope.
cookout and stuff? No?
Nope. From him, it was just them.
Okay.
But see, I've heard, so I've been okay, I'm a very spiritual person, and I feel like Faith came to me one day, and, I really feel like she's trying to help me. I'm about to cry. Because, she deserves that. She deserves for everybody to know what happened to her. And I feel like she came to me, and, she's telling me that she's going to try to be with me, and, because I've been asking all kinds of people. I'm not out there. I stay home, but I do have people in town that come over, and I bring her up, and so different people have told me different things, and I've been trying to put the pieces together myself. But one person told me that there was a party that night, and then another person told me that where we know Faith was found was not where Faith was hurt at, and then another person has told me that Veronica went to Shawnee and picked them up that night, and Ryan was hitting on her the whole way back to Smurf's house. And whenever they got there, that Faith took off running. And to my knowledge, they were living with Veronica, and they were working, and they didn't have cell phones and all this. But this person who told me that he was hitting on her the whole way home told me that they had cell phones and that they were living in Shawnee.
Was Ryan running drugs?
I don't know Ryan running drugs. Ryan never had money. I know Ryan knows a lot of people who do drugs.
I've been told by a couple of people that Ryan would have different SIM cards and use other people's phones with his SIM cards. Is that right?
No.
Do you know why?
So, I have, no, I don't know. I could never figure it out. But I would find SIM cards all the time. And it wasn't the beginning of our relationship. It was more towards the end of our relationship. I found a SIM card in my windowsill, and SIM cards just hidden in random places. I found a sheriff's badge.
You found a sheriff's badge?
A Shawnee patrolman badge, actually.
In your house?
Yes. I've lived in the same house since I was 15. I'm a very observant person, so I notice little things that most people aren't going to notice. I have little holes in my wall. There's one in my little holes, perfectly drilled, perfectly placed holes.
Just
There's
started
only a couple
appearing
of
around
them.
your house?
Yep. There's one in my kids' room. There's one in my living room. There's one in my foyer.
Oh, you think the house is bugged?
Yeah, for sure. I know for sure behind that hole there is a camera, and it's a wired camera.
But so you found a camera behind one of those holes?
I haven't got between the walls or nothing, but I know that's what it is, because why is there a hole there? When I take a picture of that little bitty hole, it's like, you can tell there's definitely a camera.
So when did you start noticing those?
I probably started noticing them 2 months before I was done with him. And I mean, like, in my foyer, they were hidden, like this hole that I'm staring at right now. It was hidden behind little mirrors.
Like the mirrors that you hung up?
No, I didn't put them there. He did.
Okay. So he put these mirrors on the wall, little mirrors.
Split up. Yeah, I took them down.
And that's where you found the holes behind these mirrors?
Yeah.
So the house that you're living in now, was that your mom's house?
No. My mom was killed out in Bethel. And oddly enough, I did want to live there. I feel like she's kind of still there, but she's not, because she's with me. And I feel like that's why I've outlived her, because she was 32. And I made it to 33. Just turned 33 in December, and I got rid of Ryan January 2nd. I woke up and he was gone. When I woke up, oh my God, the relief off my shoulders, because just being around Ryan, I was just so tense all the time. I felt it in my neck. And ever since he's been gone, the house is lighter, you're lighter, the kids are lighter.
If you were to try and say what you think probably went down on that night, do you want to, have you got any thoughts on that?
I've tried not to think about it, but that's what makes it so difficult, is because, I know he sat here and cried to me about faith, and I know that, I want to believe that he didn't do anything to her, but I also know that look in his eyes when he tried to kill me, so. And as Veronica, I feel like it's just, that's her son, it's her firstborn son, so she's going to have his back. Ultimately, she would have all of her kids back. She would die for all of her kids.
Yeah. But when you said about when he tried to kill you, is that when you were in the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw it. I saw I saw it in his eyes that time.
Mm-hmm. I'm just about to finish up on my call with Stevie when something pops into the back of my mind. After Rosemarie's voice message the other day, she'd sent me a copy of the McGirt versus Oklahoma ruling, and I'd spent a couple of hours breaking it down and getting a better understanding of what it all meant. It seems that, on the back of the McGirt case Rosemarie had been referring to, the Supreme Court had ruled 5-4 that a large portion of eastern Oklahoma is still legally recognized as Native American reservation land. And because it was never officially de-established by Congress, for all legal purposes, it's still considered Indian country. Therefore, specifically relating to the McGirt case, because the suspect was Native American and the crime had occurred on Native American land, the investigation and prosecution of the crime was not considered Oklahoma state jurisdiction. And, as it was a major violent crime, it actually fell under federal jurisdiction. And that went on to set the precedent that all serious crimes committed in Oklahoma on Native American land where the suspect was Native American were to be considered federal jurisdiction under the Major Crimes Act. I don't know exactly what it means for Faith's case, but I have someone on the phone who just might be able to help give me at least a part of the answer to that. It's a long shot, but the long shots are usually the ones worth taking. It must be getting pretty late for you, so I should let you go, but there was one more thing that I want to ask you about. Do you know whether Ryan or Veronica are Native American at all?
Yes.
They are?
They are.
Okay.
I know Ryan does not have his tribal card.
Mm-hmm.
I know Veronica does.
She does. She does have it.
Yeah, I know.
She Cherokee.
I know she has her roll number. I believe so.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Faith's case is still open, and her killer or killers have not yet been brought to justice. If you know anything about Faith, her death, or those who may be responsible, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit echospace.media/tips and either leave a voicemail or send us a message. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Blunt Force Trauma Podcast. If you're enjoying this podcast, please consider our subscriber option on Apple Podcasts or Patreon at patreon.com/echospacepodcasts, where you get access to early episode drops, ad-free episodes, and bonus content across all of the Echospace shows. If you'd like to keep up to date with progress on Faith's case, please visit and follow the Justice for Faith Ely Facebook page. You'll find a link to it in the episode notes. Blunt Force Trauma is a production of Echospace, written and hosted by Troy Taylor. Executive producers are Troy Taylor, Mark Taruli, and Fred Scherzer. Our main theme song is Lose My Mind by Maya Davidoff, and the show also contains audio content from Moby Gratis.